Hey guys, we're back with another episode of Nerd Nerd. I am Dr. Summer, also known as Seth, and JJ over here. Wait, he has some news.
I have big news. I'm pregnant. No, wait, that's the wrong news. I'm a driving person now.
So watch out. Make sure everything is insured, including your life, because you're gonna need it.
Yep,
says every grandfather ever.
Is it?
Am I wrong? Nope. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna put you on the spot, JJ. Right now, I need you to list me every Fortnite pistol. Go.
List you every Fortnite pistol?
Yep. Let's
go. The pistol.
Yep.
The hand cannon.
Okay.
Does that count?
Yep. Keep going.
Ranger pistol.
Okay.
Sidearm.
Okay.
Are we counting like the alien blaster? Because that's technically a pistol.
Sure. What's it called?
Chimera ray gun.
The ray gun? No, that's not a pistol. That'd be more of an
Yeah,
SMG.
it is.
You had to use the rapid fire SMG to make it.
Oh, I guess you got a point. Okay, I'll give you that one.
I thought you meant the plasmatic discharger. I knew you weren't gonna get that. That's why.
Bruh.
Anyway, keep going. You got like a whole bunch more.
Oh gosh.
Or do you just give up?
Wait. I can get one more.
Just give up.
Come on.
Anyway,
come on.
I was trying to give you some redemption because I was listening and we were talking about how we just want like the normal sidearm pistol in the next season. I think it was chapter 4. And you're like, there's not that many. So I was trying to give you redemption if you can remember more than last time because you thought there was only like 3. You didn't do much. Better.
I got a couple more.
So we got the revolver, we got the scoped revolver, dual pistols, suppressed pistols, dual suppressed pistols technically. Then we have the flintlock, hand cannon, the sidearm, combat pistol. Do you remember that one? That was in for like half a season. The normal pistol, tactical pistol. I was trying to give you some redemption. But anyway, we're talking about Fortnite, guys.
Yeah, Fortnite. So I feel like we should also mention this is going to be one of my last episodes before I'm going on vacation for a couple weeks. So I will be on hiatus, but Seth has some other special guests that he will bring on.
So we do have one guaranteed. I'm going to try to do another one to make sure. No Fortnite for a while, but honestly, I think that's good because with how we've both been playing the game lately, I think we need a little bit more time to adjust it. So I'm going to have plenty of time to dip my toes in the new season. Now, we're going to talk about this season, we're going to talk about next season, we're going to talk about the state of the game, and there's a few ideas, because I listened to some of our old podcasts and we talked a little bit, and there's some ideas I want to bring back to the table that I think we really need, desperately. So where do you want to start?
Well, I think we should start with the Star Wars event, seeing as that is pretty much gone for the most part. We should probably talk about that. Let's start with just the event itself. What were your thoughts?
In which mode? Or overall?
Overall.
Interesting premise. So it really shows how events are going to play out now. The big events. Especially when it's all the modes. So I thought it was done decently well. And I saw this one guy, and we're going to talk about that. But it also shows just how little they're putting into BR now and all the other modes, because all the other modes got a good bit. Rocket racing not too much, because how much can you really do right now, because you don't have other LTMs for that. Music had the whole jam stage area changed, and then Lego obviously, and we'll get into all of those. Just BR felt lacking like a lot.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And while there is like a little bit benefit to that for this season specifically, I'd say, because obviously people have been looking forward to this. The map is great this season, I think. So there is a little bit like, yay, I'm happy it didn't like completely change everything. But at the same time, if you look at how much went into the other modes this time around, like especially Lego, I think it just makes Battle Royale feel like the forgotten middle child.
And it shouldn't. It can't. Look at the player count. Look at where we started from. It can't. And we keep having this conversation, and it's only getting worse. But yeah, so let's go with rocket racing. Like I said, just added a car, right? Do you recognize the car, or is that just
It's just a Fortnite thing.
Just a okay.
As far as I know.
I didn't get it. Did you get it?
I did not get it.
Okay, so cool car. Festival. We got a cool music track.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
The Cantina Band, the most iconic song from all of Star Wars.
I'd say Imperial March.
Okay. That one definitely a competitor.
But no, yeah. So, big song. The jam stage area changed. I hated it so much. Purely for the fact that it was hard to figure out where the stage is. Like, right now, the main one. Oh, you go onto the stage, and there's this nice little green square to outline. Where did I go? Like, I went in 4 different buildings, and there wasn't any jam stages. But, so that's cool. It was an instrument. Did that instrument is that a Star Wars instrument? It looked really weird.
Which one? The guitar one?
Yeah. Not the free one. The item shop one.
Yeah, I don't know it off the top of my head, but I'm sure it existed at some point.
So that was a thing. So we're going to end with Lego, because I feel like you said, that's the biggest one. So BR, we got the E11 blaster back, not the other one, the more accurate one.
Yeah.
We got the bad one that we've had for years. Darth Vader was in a corner of the map, so I don't think I even saw him once. I didn't play much, but even then I just didn't see him because he just had the useless lightsaber where it just could just throw it.
Yep.
And then we got the bow blaster. How did you feel about the bow blaster?
I feel like it is. I mean, it's better than the E11. I feel like you can probably say that with pretty much certainty there. But it's a nice change of pace because it felt pretty close to what the bowcaster was in Star Wars. It's supposed to be a heavy firing, more long range-esque weapon. I don't, however, think it's like it can canonically charge up like that. So that was kind of like the Fortnite spin that they put on it.
I don't know, because I saw someone was talking about it coming out, and they said they hoped it had that secondary fire of a charge up blast.
Yeah, I don't remember it, but it's possible.
So it might be. I don't know. I don't know Star Wars, but someone did say they were looking for that, and we did get it.
But yeah, it was really cool. I will say, I was a little annoyed with the area damage, like the splash effect that it had, because then you just had people firing in doorways and like clearing out rooms and stuff.
It was crazy. I used it the last day. I thought it was going to be gone, which, by the way, the thing that I'm annoyed about is it's still here. Talk about that in a second. But I used it the last day, and I still barely picked it up because it's just not that good. Like, it's cool, and I think it's better than the other Star Wars blasters. I'm also just disappointed because I was just hoping we were going to get the lightsaber powers back from last year.
Oh, yeah, no.
That's
everybody
what I
was
looking
that.
forward to it, and we didn't. We just got the blasters. And when we have the burst and the pump, not the pump, the gatekeeper, and we have the water bending, it's not worth it. Even the blaster, even the bowcaster, it's just not worth it with everything else, with one-shot snipers and everything. But the 1 or 2 times, I did kind of screw some people over because it does a lot of build damage.
Yeah.
And like you said, the splash was kind of crazy. I'm like, it travels so slow. And I'm like, oh, I'm not going to hit them. And then I hit them. Like, they jumped, and they're fully jumped. And I'm like, oh, I hit them.
Yeah, no, it was insane. I had people like sniping me across the map because it does have pretty high accuracy. But I'd be like behind cover and around a corner, and they'd shoot just next to that cover, and it would splash me for like 80 damage. And I'm like, bro, are you kidding?
But, so yeah, I picked it up once or twice, but honestly, even on the day that I specifically wanted to use it before it left, I still dropped it more than used it. I don't think they're going to be able to do anything when we have weapons like this, but it was cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's just more the disappointment that we didn't get lightsabers.
Let's hope they come back next year.
Yeah. And then Lego.
This, okay, so did you play any of the actual editions? Okay, I did. I played it a little bit with Lexi, and okay, so I have thoughts on this. So, you know how we originally said, like, it's a cool system, the way that the Lego mode progresses, but it's kind of, like, annoying that it's all locked in, like, you have to go step to step?
Yeah, that's one reason why I don't. Not to mention, we did get an update. I don't know if you saw, we got a durability update. Again, why are we waiting, like, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 months for this? Anyway, yeah, continue.
Yeah, I see what they were trying to do with this. The way that you access the Star Wars content in here is you just make any world, and then you can around this world, find a cave that has the Lego Rebel troopers around it, and use that cave to basically transport you to a second world. And then in that world is where all of the Star Wars content is held. And so you find a village. You can help repair this village by doing quests for them, like killing stormtroopers, collecting certain materials, and that's how you upgrade the village there. And then it's kind of like quests where you have to go out and, like I said, kill the stormtroopers, and they're like guarding these bases, which these bases are the caves in this world. So you can't access any of these caves until you get to that point in the quest. And it's weird because to get to that point in the quests, you need materials from caves. So essentially you're having to go back and forth between the two different worlds to get the materials you need for one of them, which I don't know, it just felt super awkward to me because, like, I can see they were trying to add like a secondary progression here. It just didn't work the way that it should have to feel natural.
Dang. So it's even worse than I thought.
The lightsabers were really cool, though. The way those work is, like, they're an infinite sword. They recharge. So you use them in combat, and if it dies, you just have to wait, and it'll recharge, and then you can use it again later. So it's a
like
really
a Master Sword
strong...
from
yeah,
Zelda.
it's like a really strong and regenerative sword. Good addition there.
Cool. I didn't care for it, but it was also just the principle of what they did. So we've gone how long... And we've gotten, like, practically no updates for LEGO. Like, it is one of the biggest fumbles I think I've ever seen. Like, they had millions of people that they could have kept in, and then they gave us, like, nothing. There's no final boss. There's no progression updates. Like, nothing added. And then we finally start getting some stuff, which is only paid. Like, the only build stuff that they added was paid content with V-Bucks. And now... we finally got a big LEGO update, right? Because we had like one or two, but they didn't really add a lot. A lot of the updates that you guys probably are thinking about aren't even out yet. They're just from the files, like the Rift stuff. We got the animal stuff and like a bear, and that's really... And the fishing. That's it. Which, like... Yeah. So we finally got some stuff to build, and it's in a freaking battle pass. It is, and we added a LEGO pass, and I just can't understand. And I saw some people were like, "This is cool." I'm like, "This is just fundamentally wrong." That is like Minecraft adding an update and saying, "Okay, so you get the mace, the new mace, in the new update, right? You get that for free. But if you want the bamboo raft or something, whatever they're adding, you have to pay for that, and you have to do quest to do it." Like, I don't want to have to do quest in a survival game. For a pass. Like, that just... It's so bizarre.
Yeah, it's definitely weird the way they've chosen to do these additions, because, like, these are... On one hand, they are buildings that, you know, you wouldn't typically find in just your LEGO... sneeze! In your LEGO Fortnite world. Like, this is a Star Wars building, presumably from Tatooine, and so it kind of makes sense that it wouldn't just be built in, but then at the same time... If you're already building in, like, an entire permanent, like, secondary progression in the Star Wars LEGO game thing, why not also add some buildings? And I will give them a little bit of credit. They did technically add a few free buildings. Like, if you're completing these quests for the village, you are getting some Star Wars versions of the regular buildings.
But again,
in
like,
Fortnite.
I don't want to have to do quests. I just want to go in. I want to play survival, and I just want to go do whenever. Like, open progression. Almost all these sandbox games have. Why do I have to do quest to unlock a building material?
Hours. They want playtime.
But you can just, if you just give it, then we have to, like, what if we had to grind for it? Like, you know, like in certain games, like Terraria, if you want to get this cool building block, you have to go get the resources in this biome. Like, you have to, in order to get the Star Wars stuff, you have to go to the Star Wars area. Like, you still have to get playtime to progress to unlock it. But I shouldn't have to do quest just to unlock it.
I mean, here's my thought. I think what they should do is, for all of these buildings, like, even if they want to do this, like, have passes and stuff upon release, once it's done, like, once that timer is up, put it in as something we can progress towards. So maybe put a quest in, like, LEGO itself, maybe have a accolade we have to achieve in order for us to receive it, but have it be something we can progress and receive instead of just, you know, buying it. Because I mean, if you really think about it, nobody's ever going to really care about these buildings after this, right? Like, nobody is going to go to the shop and be like, oh, yes, I'm going to pay 2,500 V-Bucks for a couple of Tatooine buildings for Lego Fortnite that I still have to harvest the materials for, mind you, in-game.
Yeah, it's just so bizarre.
Yeah.
It's also, I'm also just annoyed at the exploration. Again, I don't know about the new Lego stuff, but just, Star Wars stuff. But it's just the fact that when I play Minecraft, right, or Terraria, there's plenty of structures to find. Some are new, some are destroyed. Like, Terraria doesn't quite have much new stuff, but there's plenty of structures. Minecraft, you have some ruins, but then you also have villages. There is only a handful of broken down buildings.
Yeah, they absolutely need to add more things to find, because even in that Star Wars universe, the best you would find is those caves with a couple stormtroopers outside. Like, there was rarely ever anything extra that you would come across.
I love being able to start off and, like, claiming a wilderness mansion and making that my home base. Or just exploring it and having a full... There's nothing to explore. Like, even the stuff that you explore in these buildings, it's just a house. It's not like a dungeon, it's not a temple, it's not like a village. It's just a single broken house, and it's so repetitive. It is so repetitive.
Yeah.
So, I'm still waiting, and I still have hope, especially with creative and seeing some more stuff with that, and we get all these new progression stuff. But right now, I still just do not care about Lego. It just does not have the content to keep me playing. Even one time.
The fact that they locked Chewbacca behind this pass is outrageous, because I know so many people were looking forward to a Chewbacca skin because he is like one of the most iconic characters of the original trilogy. So not letting players get Chewbacca without having to purchase this pass is ridiculous, because if I don't care about Lego whatsoever, I now have to purchase this Lego pass in order to get a skin that I could have just paid for, which probably would have been cheaper than the pass is in the
cheaper is $1,400. The pass is $1,400.
I was thinking maybe the skin itself would be $1,200.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me check. What are the other Star Wars skins in the shop?
Like every other collab skin, though, has been $1,500 pretty much.
$1,200 for Luke, $1,200 for AWR, $1,500 for Lando.
But Luke also doesn't have a back bling.
$1,500. Okay, so it's like 100 V-Bucks off.
But like, even if it was cheap, like a good cheaper, like $1,200 for the pass, it's just the principle of, again, locking it behind a pass. Like, it's just so stupid. Anyway, we have a lot to cover. That's Lego. Enough of that rant, because we have so much to cover.
Yep.
So that happened. Then it's gone, but it's not gone. Is Darth Vader even on the map? Like, so the Star Wars event's over, right? Like, the quests are gone for some of the modes. But I just was playing and I found the guns. Vader might still be on the map. I don't know.
Yeah. It's weird. I was kind of hoping they'd be gone too, because, you know, I like the Star Wars stuff, but I kind of was wanting the loot pool of this season to have one last hurrah.
I know, I told you, it's like, why is it freaking here? Like, I just want to play Myths. I was excited because for the final week, I get to play Myths Immortals, and we still can't, because after the Avatar event, that was all, the main part of the season was gone. Then it was added back, but then we had Star Wars stuff. Like, it's just completely overshadowed, and I just want to play Myths Immortals, and I can't. That's it. There hasn't been really any changes, right? There hasn't been new items or anything. This later half. I will say there is a build-up to next season. We'll talk about that in a minute. But, yeah, is that really it for right now, the Star Wars?
Yeah, I think that's it for Star Wars. What'd you think of the skin? I know you probably don't care, but the new AWR trooper.
No.
Yeah,
that's my reaction.
It was pretty cool.
Just another skin. It just feels like, again, it's not, and I understand, like, there are different characters in this and that. It's just like, why do we have to have like 50 identical looking Star Wars skins that just clutter the item shop? And it doesn't help with the new item shop and everything. But cool. Cooler than the other ones. So I'm not gonna get it. I only got the other ones because I got the pass. But yeah. So where do we want to go?
Well, we might as well do this because this is like a one-off thing. What were your thoughts on the Titan skin?
I think it is, without a doubt, the best survey adaptation.
I agree. This skin, it was one of the best-looking survey skins in the batches we've got, and it's now in-game, and it looks almost identical to that. So the fact that they were able to bring it over so faithfully is just, like, it looks awesome.
It's also disappointing. Very disappointing. Because it shows that they can do these fancy-looking skins, and they can do it. And they can do it right.
Mm-hmm.
So then all these other skins that, like, some of them don't look as bad. Like, I don't think they're as bad as what people are saying. But there are plenty that are really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of disappointing. It's like, we could have got so much better. Like, here is what we can get. I didn't get it because it's just bulky, it's big, and at this point... Now, if this was Chapter 1 or Chapter 2... I would get it because it's a story skin probably and we'd never get it again. But look at how often the order comes in the shop.
Yeah.
Like, I gifted you the order. It's like, dude, we might never get the order again. And here it is. It's just a 30-day item. It's just another skin.
Yep.
So if I want to get it in the future, I can get it. Like, let's be honest. It's not going to be locked to the season or anything. So I didn't get it. But it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
Pandora box backplay. So that's cool.
Yeah,
so I'm happy with
neat.
the Pandora box. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah.
Yep.
So do we want to talk about the event going into next season or some
Sure. Let's talk about the stuff that's been happening. Have you seen all of what's happened with it so far?
So again, I work a lot and I'm just chilling and then I open up Twitter. And it's like, oh, lightning, oh, striking down. And then I opened up Twitter while getting ready to play some Fortnite, and, it struck down the box, it's disappeared, and now we have this ball of lightning that bounced a few times, and now there's a sandstorm, thunderstorm.
Yep, and this all just happened in regular matches, mind you.
And in the last 2 or 3 days.
Yep.
It really went from, like, 0 to like, event. Which... I'm happy about, and I'm also kind of mad about. I'm happy because I don't just want these game modes that you have to play a separate game mode to play and stuff. I like having the live match stuff, but even then they had some kind of countdown and they spread it out a little bit more. We didn't know this was happening until it started like charging up with lightning.
I mean, we were able to predict when it was going to happen.
With what?
Like the files? Like I'm
exactly
an account
the files
on Twitter that it tells
the
you
files.
Exactly when the next strike and stuff will be.
The files. Nothing in game. We had countdowns. We had the TVs around the map showing, hey, here's 5 days till this.
Yeah, but I think the magic of it is kind of taken away when you have a timer. Because obviously, yes, it allows people to prepare for it and be there for it, but it's kind of...
But it doesn't have to be a direct
timer.
timer. It's just an
in-game
like warning. It's just... Like it doesn't have to be a timer. Like, the TVs could just keep blaring.
The lightning strikes were the warning for the sandstorm.
But then, like I also said, just more time. Like, it really just went from lightning strike to boom. Like, we had days...
We had 3 lightning strikes.
We had days where we had meteors coming down before the season, before we actually had the big meteor come down, like the entire end of the season. Or do you remember the crop circles going into Season 7, which is happening for a week or two at the end? Like, there was some kind of countdown and anticipation and build-up that was spread throughout with, like, little things. It's not just, okay, so in, like, 2 days, we went from literally nothing. So if you only play the game and you don't follow Twitter... You went from nothing to, here is a sandstorm that is out there. There was, like, seals instantly. And I just felt like I would have been better if they spread it out a little bit more to build up that anticipation. Because we have a week left. Who knows what's going to happen after this? They easily could have taken...
I mean, think about it this way, though. They technically probably couldn't contractually overlay it with the Star Wars stuff. Now that the Star Wars stuff is gone... They put this into motion, and we also don't know what's going to happen over the next week and a half that the season has left. There
but
could
it's still
be
here,
more
and we have like
happening.
10 weeks left of the Star Wars Pass.
Yeah, the Star Wars Pass is that's special.
And and it's still in BR, and it's still in Lego.
But the quests themselves are gone. The point is, This is probably the beginning of the build-up. So even though, yes, we've had lightning strikes, yes, there's now a sandstorm, there's probably still more to come. We just don't know what it is yet. Like, the storm itself, I don't know if you saw, is blinking Morse code.
And there's even spectrogram stuff out there.
Mm-hmm. So exactly. So they could easily be teasing more stuff like that over the next week.
But imagine if we had like 2.5, 3 weeks, they easily could have like just spread this out, some more stuff like earthquakes and stuff, which I know is
But they would have had to spread around the Star Wars event and the Avatar event, which they probably didn't want to do.
Not the Avatar event, and Star Wars event, again, still happening. Like, it's still happening. And we've had...
It is still happening.
Okay? Like the pass is still going on, the stuff's still in game. The stuff was out of the game, sure, but the stuff is still in game. The event is still happening. The quests are gone, sure. The event is still there. And we have this at the same time. Like, still very much there. But, yeah, I feel like they could have done better. We'll see what happens in the next week. Hopefully we get, like, some kind of cool event, and then maybe kind of like how we had the tsunami for a few days. The last few days is the sandstorm leading into the next season. But I've also just, with how the season's gone, I don't know if I can be optimistic anymore.
Yeah.
And I think
this was like the magnum opus of this. Like, they are going to have a very hard time of screwing this one up, because this season just has so much potential to be great. There's so many things that they're going to do right.
Story,
the battle pass looks awesome.
Item shop, like,
it was like we had super high hopes for this, and now we're coming out of this like, okay, but where's the season we were promised?
No season. Remember how we said the River Styx was going to expand?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we have less around a little over a week, like 9 days, no River Styx expansion. The map has stayed completely the same. And I do not count adding a few little Avatar and Star Wars things as proper map changes. So we have no map changes. Again. Story quests. It is just some go fetch stuff again. Also, like, I didn't even finish it, but like, what happened? Because it looks like we didn't even need to like meet anybody. I thought we were going to have to wait and team up and have a thing. It's just like, oh no, it's just so...
We went down, we broke a bunch of Zeus's defenses to make him vulnerable, then we went and fought Zeus, and I think he's dead.
Well, then why is he still on the map?
Well, because it's Fortnite, and people need a chance to complete those quests. The first person that kills them...
They just auto-complete it, bro. They do that all the time.
But, like, the quest came out a week ago. They need to give people time to actually get on and complete the quest.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just autocomplete. Like, they do it all the time. Like, literally the same day. It's just, hey, we're just going to autocomplete all these quests. Because we messed, or we had to update. They autocomplete. Like, they could have. They easily could have. It would have made plenty of sense.
They make the quest for people to do.
Okay, and they make quests for this item and that item, and then they remove that item. All the time. This is not a new thing.
Yeah, because of a bug. Zeus is not a bug.
But if they can, and that feature's there, then they could have. Because if we had to kill him, then in the next update...
When the first person kills him, they should have just, like, removed Zeus?
Not the first person, but, like, we've had time now. This is the last story quest.
We've had a week.
Okay. Get him out of here. If
so
he's
what
dead,
if there were people who couldn't play last week?
Then they auto-complete it, because we had an update since then. We've had an update. The next update should have removed him. Like, that does not... But it's not that
you're
crazy.
Forgetting, the quests are also about the experience, not just about the rewards. Like, people also want to experience the story.
Okay, well, if the story is to do this, and this already happened, you quite literally can't. Like, if like the location is changed...
But that's not how Fortnite works. We're in a loop.
But it has done that.
There is no timeline continuity here. We're in a loop.
There has been. We have progressed. The map has evolved because this is destroying. Like with Season 7, planting the bombs, with Sloane moving. Like these have happened. The device growing. Like you can't like go defeat Huntmaster at this blimp because the blimp's gone. We crashed the blimp. They can't experience that. Like, this has happened before in Fortnite multiple times. There is progression, and they can do progression. They just chose not to. And now it's just Zeus is there, and it just doesn't feel like we did anything. There was no fight.
I don't think it's that big of an issue.
It's just, again, though, like, we had the possibility to do something cool, and they just did nothing. It's just, here's another quest, just defeat the boss like you have done 100 times this season. There's no specialness to it. It's just cool. I'm just going to play the game. There's no story to it. Just play the game.
Yeah.
But, so that's the story right now. And then, yeah, so what, Mad Max or something? Right? So that's what we're thinking next season's going to be, like desert, Mad Max. The train's going to be able to go off the rails. We're going to have new rails, which I'm excited about. I think that should change every season. Expanding like the train track, just the train. You know, that makes the season more dynamic. And then I guess
here's the question: do you think it's going to be the entire map covered in sand, or do you think it's going to be a small area?
I mean, do you see the UI, like the little mini map? Some people are thinking it's just a little mini lake in the middle. That's it.
That would be tragic.
That would be tragic, and I have zero optimism at this point because, like we've just said, like there's so many opportunities that they just completely fumbled. So if it's cool, it's cool, and even if it's good, we all know. Here's the other thing, and again, it's just so hard to be optimistic when it is season 3. When was the last time we had a solid season 3? With summer events, with map changes, like they have not been good for years at this point.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think my thought, me thinking this way, I don't think is directly from the news of Donald Muster and everything that we learned about in this season, but I don't think that helped either. And for the people that are wondering, it's just the idea that Donald Muster wanted to do this, like we could have got a movie, all this stuff that we learned, and like where the story could have went, and we just didn't.
Yeah, because higher ups at Epic were like, no, we have other plans.
So I think I would have felt the same way regardless, but I don't think that's helping the case of me trying to be optimistic when I've been let down so much. So we'll see how it goes. Still no Kratos. Again, like, I want Kratos back, but like, even if I had Kratos, why is Kratos not in the Greek season? Like, there we could have done something. Kratos could have killed.
I have an answer to that.
And yeah, now we know it might be because are you talking about the PC port?
Yep, the PC port will be coming pretty soon, and they're probably saving it for that, bringing it to the shop when it does.
But if they have the guy that made it, and they probably could have got the rights to it, why couldn't we have used Kratos to kill Zeus?
But
would that not have made sense? Would that not be his character and make killing Zeus actually mean something and like be more eventful than just a normal boss fight that we do every season? Like, again, there's opportunities and they just fumble.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's rough. Speaking of delays, did you also see that apparently GTA 6, this was 27 minutes ago, GTA 6 is now officially expected to drop in fall 2025.
Yeah.
September to December. It's coming. We're waiting, but it's slowly but surely. Yo, also shout out to Mr. Beast. Everybody go subscribe. He is almost more subs than T-Series.
Ooh, almost there. T-Series match 2 rematch. Yay.
Yep. Anyway, so that's Fortnite right now. Like, how do you feel? Because I know you haven't been playing as much, but like, how do you feel about the story, gameplay?
Yeah, like I'm level 185 this season, and then I did buy the level up pack, so that kind of shows how much I have played. I've enjoyed it, but not as much as I did in the past, and I think that's kind of like representative of most things. Like, you're obviously not going to always enjoy it as much as you did years ago, but I think in terms of what they could have done, it was definitely a bit of a letdown. That doesn't mean I didn't have fun playing. I think this was definitely still a blast of a season, and one of the better ones, definitely of this chapter, probably of last chapter as well. But yeah, it's been a rough one for certain.
And I get what you're saying, too, where it's like a lot of people are just falling out because they've played it for how long? I was watching Cypher. Apparently, he's been playing Fortnite for a quarter of his life. He's 28. Game's been out for 7 years. But the thing that I'm mad about and just annoys me is that it's, yes, right, because it's going to get boring if you do the same thing every season. But it's the fact that we can very easily get more content and have fun throughout the entire season. But it's the fact that we have gone a year and a half with 0 mid-season updates. Map updates, like proper content. If we got a new gun, weather, vehicles, or just a map update, like just a map update. How much do you think that would give you? Like, imagine we got a whole new POI every season. Some point in the season. That would, like, add something.
Yeah.
And we haven't. We've got, like, no progression at all.
Yeah.
So, like, and it's like, we've gotten, like, bi-weekly updates, we've gotten mid-season updates, we've had map changes, new guns, returning guns, and we get, like, 2 new guns. We get, like, utility. We got, like, we got bush bombs back. First item other than collab in, like, 2 weeks, and we got bush bombs back. No map updates, just bush bombs. Like, why don't you give us, like, I don't know, jump pads, traps, still waiting on launch pads. Like, there's content that they can add, and it doesn't have to be guns either, because I get the guns have to be their new version with bullet drop and attachments, but, like, there's plenty of content that we don't need. Like, just give us the grappler. The normal broken grappler where you take fall damage. And I feel like people would be more happy than what we've been getting.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Like I said, I've lost my optimism, and I don't see any chance of it being good after a few weeks. Like, cool, we might have, especially if we get sand tunneling back. I think that'd be cool. I haven't really experienced it because it's going to be more like the Chapter 2 sand tunneling than the Chrome sand tunneling, whatever it is. But, like, how useful is that going to be? Especially if I play ranked more, like, that's going to be cool. It's just like the train. Like, I did it once, and then, okay, cool, I did it.
Yeah.
Especially depending on how the map updates have been. And so, I will say, again, the launch of this season was great. The map updates, it's just, we haven't got anything later. So if we get a desert, I'm going to explore the desert. And unless it's a big desert, right? Like a good chunk of the map, it's just going to be a desert. And I don't think I'm going to... What do you think the chances are of having, like, a cool POI compared to the beach in Chapter 2 or Paradise Palms?
Yeah, I don't know if it's really going to be that case. And even if it is, it seems like the trend that they've been going with is just take one of the POIs on the map already and put it under, like, the condition that is being set to the map. So, like, last season we had, what was it, ruined reels, like, in the center, and now we have...
restored reels.
Yeah, restored reels, that's right. And so they're just kind of like changing the pre-existing POIs. So if we are getting like a sandstorm, I don't actually see them coming out with a new POI. I see it being a case of, now we have Sandy Olympus, or like
that's
desert
what we might get.
Underworld.
And that's going to be so disappointing. So, yeah. And I do have some things that we can possibly talk about, and I was just kind of going back and we were just kind of talking about it, and I think this is such another thing that can add some more enjoyment and making the games more dynamic, and it's just kind of crazy that we don't have any of this. And this is from the end of Chapter 3 / First Impressions of Chapter 4 of the podcast. We were listening to it. We were talking about some ideas, so I want to bring these up, talk about what we can possibly get with, like, if we got at the beginning of this season, and what we can possibly get with next season. And those ideas are, like, one, just some features coming back. Why did we get rid of the capture the flag on the POIs? I don't know. Like, we still have it on the island. Like, augments too, right? And we could talk about augments in a minute. But we also predicted that it might just be a Chapter 4 thing because of the season, like reality, yada yada. But we have capture the flag. Like, we have the flag, so why are they gone? How do you feel if we got flags back? How do you think that would change the game? Do you think that'd be a big addition, like to have.
I don't know
like,
if it'd
keep.
be big, but it's definitely be cool to get back because it was something that made that initial landing a little bit more interesting. You know, the people who were bold enough to go out there with the floor loot that they got were able to take the flag and get that extra jump start for the match. Like, it was fun and it caused a lot of interesting fights and stuff like that because obviously you're making yourself vulnerable. I don't know. In all, it was definitely a really cool aspect. I don't know, though. It's like...
Another thing
weird.
with it, right, is, like you said, off-spawn loot. But just loot in general, and I've talked about this, I'm not going to go on a big rant again. It's just the amount of loot in Chapter 5 is abysmal. And then with attachments and RNG, it's just been terrible, the RNG, this chapter, and the amount of loot. Again, that's just such a simple way. You just add the flags to each main POI, and that's like that's a guaranteed loot. That's some of the very few guaranteed loot on the entire map. Because right now we have the God chests, right? Those are guaranteed and they're pretty good. But outside of the 4 POIs that have them, there's not a single bit of guaranteed loot on the entire map, other than the vaults. But that's not guaranteed because they change locations, and then you have to wait how long to get them. So, like something like Snooty Steps, right? That's the whole way down there. There's no guaranteed loot down there. Imagine there's the flag. So after you do take a house or two, there's some guaranteed loot. Some blue, purple, gold. You know what I mean? Heals, whatever. Like, I felt like it'd be really good addition to add, especially with how it currently is right now. I want to talk about augments too, because I do think I enjoy augments significantly more than attachments.
Yeah?
A lot. I do not like attachments.
Honestly, I think I'm on the same page with you there, because the augments, you know, not only did you get to choose every match, you don't have to find a bench to choose what, you know, special properties you have that match, which was absolutely awesome to have, but it was also more, you know, special effects, right? It wasn't necessarily something that had to be your gun, and it wasn't necessarily something that had to affect a certain aspect of a fight. You could have literal balloons coming off your back every minute, and that is a fun aspect of the game rather than just, oh, do I want a 2x scope or a 4x scope? Do I want a silencer or do I want a barrel, other barrel mod?
And
yeah, that one.
And especially with like just in generally most of the attachments aren't good. Like, there's a meta loadout of attachments. On the burst, it's always the laser, right? Because of the hip fire. Most people don't take the suppressor because you can have reduced recoil. So you put a scope on, reduce recoil with the grit and the muzzle brake, and that's what most people use on most guns. Like, it doesn't actually. But I also want to say with augments, specifically Season 1. Season 1 had the best augments selection. What do you think?
I mean, I guess. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head, but I do remember, like, it was a really good time experiencing them.
Remember how, like, it was just like fishing or something random? Season 1, we had balloon time, we had the bow attachments, we had the pistol attachments, we had soaring sprints. Like, remember, like, how overpowered we can make bows because we get infinite ammo and kills, we get different types of bows, and you can charge it faster? That was only Season 1. Like, we had the increased reload, like, all this, like, it added so much. We even had the marking ones where you can mark in storm, or you can mark when you hit them with a marksman rifle. And imagine with the DMR adding stuff like that.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely.
That was Season 1.
We definitely got the butt end of the deal with getting attachments instead of augments.
Yeah, like, and like I said, just RNG. Like, you can still win without augments. They're fun, but they're not that crazy. And it feels like you can't win without attachments, but then they're just so much more RNG that even if you can win without them, it's just so much harder and less fun. Like, going with a 0 attachment legendary, like, gun is just not as fun as just going no augment, because you can still play the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like, again, that just also just adds so much dynamics to each match. And I feel like that's just what we're missing. It's just, we just don't get content, but, like, stuff like that, they can add at the start, and that can give us so much more content throughout. or easily add content, because you don't have to add this whole new thing. You just add a new ability or re-add an old ability. Like, think about how many augments that we've had that they can easily add in. Like, I'd say, maybe 75 good ones?
Yeah.
Because obviously we can't have, we might not have the bows because they have to change the stuff. But there's plenty that they easily can add right now. Because guess what? I forgot. No, we were supposed to have it, weren't we?
We were in the beginning. Yep, there was a milestone.
There was a milestone that we just never got. Was that last season? They were supposed to have it for the first few weeks. We could have had it, and then they just chose not to. And there's how many that are in the file that we never got to play with.
Yeah.
So that's augments. I feel like we need to bring something like that back. I thought that was really good, at least for pubs. And that's the other thing that we also talked about, and I still think they really need to do. They need to do separate loot pools for build, zero build, and ranked. They need to be different. For just different stuff. And with that, here's another thing that I don't even know if you even remember. Remember the dial-a-drop?
Yeah.
We were talking about how good that would be to be permanent, and then add the vehicle one more in zero build for protection. And it's just gone. And it has been a year and a half now since we've had that.
Bruh.
The dial-a-drop was such a good thing, and I kind of understand that because we had the combat caches, but I don't think it was worth it. I'd rather have the medical one and everything. It's a letdown, bro. They gave us so much, and then they just removed it, and they just give us stuff that we just don't ask for.
And I get that, it's a battle royale. Not everything is going to be able to be permanent, but eventually they're going to have to start making choices with some of these things that come out, because they're adding things that improve the game and then removing them and being like, oh, sorry, it was a limited time item. It's well, you're just kind of hurting your own game if you keep choosing to remove this stuff. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, augments just added so much, and I thought that was one of the best parts, and I did not like Chapter 4 much. I don't know if I like it more or less than Chapter 5 so far, but I didn't like it that much. But I thought augments were one of my favorite features, probably since Chapter 2, because I like the crafting. So honestly, I'd say since Chapter 2, I like the augments more than the sprinting, mantling, sliding, hurdling, all that. I like the augments more than all the movement features or anything.
Yeah, it's fair.
So yeah, again, we talked about earlier, they have stuff that they can add in to give us more content. Add the dial-a-drop as one of the shadow briefing, and that adds more we can choose. Instead, they just... And especially now that we've removed all the other vehicles, imagine the dial-a-drop, because that gave us a truck most of the time, right? There is no pickup trucks. So imagine the only way to get a pickup truck with off-road tires and cowcatcher would be the dial-a-drop, which you have to do a shadow briefing. That adds so much incentive to do the vehicle ones now. Here's another thing that we talked about, and we could talk about what if we added it now and then maybe next season. And this was the idea of adding new biomes, new biomes and POIs with specific loot. And that was imagine we got a Wild West area and we got the Wild West guns, or a sideways biome with sideways guns, and that's the only area. Imagine we got that now, because again, you can get the wings and you get the chain, you get the Thunderbolt anywhere. Imagine the Thunderbolt was only in the Zeus POI, because that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
I definitely think they should have done that this season, because that would have made it a lot more interesting and had a lot more incentive to land at those POIs. But I think in the future, they definitely need to look at doing that, especially a little bit more than they have, because it's something that will make each new biome and stuff, even if it's one POI worth of a biome, it still makes it feel like a lot more of a bigger place, because you're going there and you're getting an entirely different game experience by landing there, as opposed to the other side of the map that's going to give you a different loot pool.
And I think obviously we should have a base loadout, right? We should keep the Nemesis, we should keep the hammer, all those guns everywhere. But imagine the Gatekeeper is only in the Underworld and Grimgate. You have to go there to get that shotgun, because you have the Frenzy. If we didn't have the Frenzy, I would not agree with that, because we should have the fast firing permanent, right? But that's our third shotgun, so let's keep that over there. right? And we could easily got, say, something like the Enforcer. That could have been, like, just snooty steps in that corner of the map. Like, it's easy. Like, it doesn't have to be unique, like, super fancy, like the Mythics, like the Chain or Lightning Bolt. But it adds so much more, because right now, especially when they do map updates like they did, it really skews the loot and player spreading out, right? Because last season I thought it was really good, right? Because we had all the medallions all over the place. This season it's either top left or bottom right. That's where all the medallions are. That's where all the good loot is. So there's no point in going top right, and there's no point in going down like snooty steps.
Yeah.
So adding something like that it's only a few guns, but say that you really like that gun, that adds incentive for a good bit of people. I like the Enforcer. I would actually land down there a good bit if I can get a Enforcer. So with the next season coming out and we do get a desert biome, what kind of stuff do we think we would want to see in that area? Because let's just guess. I'm guessing it's in the middle, right? That's kind of where we're assuming it's going to be. So in the middle, where do we think? And then do we think there can be any map changes around? And I think one chance we can get is, what if the sandstorm consumes on the way to the island? So it like piles in, like kind of like a tsunami, right? Like the sandstorm piles in the middle, and that's where the sand comes from. But it comes from the right side. So then the right side of the map is more sandy, and those are the biomes that get like destroyed. What do you think about something like that?
I think that would make a lot of sense. I mean, it all depends on how much Fortnite actually decides to, logic their way through this event. If they decide, the sandstorm that is clearly coming from one side is only going to leave sand in the center of the map, then it's like,
yeah.
But if they actually, like, map it out and, like, oh, yes, it's a sandstorm and it is coming from this direction, therefore it is either going to leave a complete trail here, or it's going to, like, follow the actual behaviors of a sandstorm and go toward, the hills and valleys and stuff like that. So I could very much see that being the case. And I also think there's a high possibility that we could end up with a lot less water on the map because of it. If it does end up in the center of the map, it's probably going to be an oasis sort of situation where that's one of the only spots on the map with water.
I could see that, yeah. Or like River Styx. Like, that's the other thing I'm wondering. Do you think the River Styx is going to stay in the dash? Because medallion's obviously probably going to be gone, but do you think the dash area?
I mean, there's a chance, I guess, because, I mean, if you really think about it, that stuff isn't necessarily water, so I don't see why it would leave.
But then it's also, if we're going to like a Mad Max desert, why do we have the underworld goo?
Yeah.
Good old Fortnite. We're trying to use logic here, but if it makes sense, what JJ?
It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. But I'm gonna make the same claims. Also, do we have exotics? Exotics aren't on the map, are they?
I don't think there's a single exotic now.
Nope. So again, just something that they can easily add. Like, how about we don't add anything new? Add 3 exotic guns, and there is so much content you can get from that, especially as a pub player. But what I'm thinking is, what if we get like the Dragon's Breath? And remember, we're supposed to get a flamethrower.
Yeah.
Like, flamethrower would be perfect, and Firefly Jar is coming back. And then you have to get that in the desert area.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? Maybe like, and with exotics, Dragon's Breath, right?
I mean, yeah, I think there's a lot you could do with that, and it's... I don't know if they're going to take the route of bringing back old weapons or making new weapons, because it seems like as of now, they don't really like making new weapons for a season. They like making like mythics and stuff, like the chain or the lightning. Like, that seems to be the trend right now for when there's a new season. They come out with that type of item, and then they'll make like a new baseline gun to go with the season as well. So like a new pistol, new AR, or new DMR like we got this season. So I think chances of us getting weapons that are themed around it are pretty slim, but I could definitely see, like, maybe if the flamethrower is a mythic, like that could be it. Maybe not a mythic, or like just kind of like the wings or like epic, but a special item of that sort, I could definitely see that being the case.
It's just so annoying, because like we keep saying, like, there's so much content that they can add, they just choose not to. We can get so much content if they just think about bringing some old stuff back, there's so much that they removed and it's just gone now. Like, I don't think there... So if we get stuff, it's generally it's been the remastered, like the attack AR and then the Deagle, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the chances are of something like the Striker getting remastered, the Ranger AR? That was literally there for a year, and now it is just going to be gone, and I do not think it has, like, any chance of ever coming back.
Yeah, some of those probably are, like, not very high on their list.
Like Hammer AR. Like, I got to like that a lot more at the end, and it's just, here is something that, like, if they added... Like, it just, there's so much that they can add, and they just choose not to. And it's just gone. Like, they put so much time into a new season, and now it's just gone.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. But those are some of the big things that we were talking about in those episodes, you know, talk about the loot pool and stuff. And I think that adds a lot. And I really do hope. And it's also just crazy, again, that we don't have exotics. Like, I just realized that, like, we haven't had exotics. That's such a big thing that they can add. Here's another thing that I'm really mad about. I don't know how you feel about this. How's your gold been?
My gold?
Yeah.
I've been
using it
close
much
to max all season. The only thing I really spend it on is the weapons benches.
And that's such a pain to get because it adds so later. So if you die off for it, then there's no point.
Mm-hmm.
But here's something that else we should probably add, and I don't know why they removed it, is why can't we upgrade our rarities?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that gives such a purpose to it. And then imagine if you had a gray and you did up. So here's another thing. So, okay, we can upgrade the rarity. So I can upgrade to legendary. Or what if we could side grade and it could randomize the attachments?
Mm-hmm.
But that's
Just
not
pay
at the
for it to
benches. That's like
randomize.
other places. So you pay like 50 or maybe like 100 gold, depending on the rarity, right? How many attachments. So if it's green, you pay a certain amount of gold because it's a lower rarity and you only have one attachment. But say you have a blue and you get 2-3 attachments, you can randomize it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get 3 random attachments.
That would have to be such a small amount of gold, though, because each attachment at a weapons bench is like 50 to 100 gold, right?
But what this would do is this would also these would be different locations. So you can
They're
then
more easily
get
accessible.
more easily accessible.
Yeah, honestly,
Because that's the problem. Like,
that
there's
would be good.
4 or 5 on the map. That's it. Like, and you have to go to such specific locations. You have to survive. Imagine just every POI had 1 or 2, like, one of these, like the gas stations had 1, then you could randomize it. Sure, you might not get exactly what you want. You can't upgrade it, but there you go. Like, that gives you a purpose for taking that blue. Because right now, I take attachments over rarities. That would give me a reason to get the rarities because I have an easier possibility of getting that.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, what do I know?
Yeah, we're just 2 guys on the internet ranting.
Yeah. And Fortnite knows so much. Guys, figure it out.
Maybe it's good
I want
that
the movie.
neither of us are going to have to talk about Fortnite for a good few weeks.
Yeah. I think the next game... So we'll probably cover that when we get back. But do you see 1.21 is also around the corner?
I did.
So maybe we do a Minecraft update. What do you guys think? Let us in the comments. What kind of game do you want us to cover? Do you want to cover Fortnite, Minecraft?
Yeah.
X Defiance also coming out soon too.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll probably
I'm
end
gonna
up
be
trying
playing
that
that.
because Seth probably won't shut up about it.
So maybe if we do that, maybe we can do a episode on that.
Yeah.
What do you guys want? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe, hit the bell to be notified when we do have another video /podcast /post, and join the Discord when we have those posts and discussions.
Absolutely.
Is that everything?
Probably. I don't know.
And remember, I'm going to restate this. Get your insurance because JJ's on the road now.
Yep, I'm coming for ya. Bye.
Bye. Hey guys, like quick 3 seconds. We got the next season's name. It's called Get Wrecked. That's it.